Hello, my name is David Driscoll. The purpose of this video is twofold. One, I want to introduce you to a set of videos I've produced on something I'm calling behavioral skills. Number two, I want to talk about that phrase behavioral skills and put that in stark contrast to what is often referred to as soft skills. Now, on occasion, I want to be really clear and honest. I will look down, and what I'm looking at are my notes. I'm not reading a script, but it's more important to me that I get the correct content out to you than I look scripted or really smooth. So if you see me looking down, I'm checking my notes to make sure I'm giving you complete information. And I do that on all the videos. So let me go back to that concept of behavioral skills. Behavioral skills versus soft skills. The term soft skills tend to indicate or tend to imply that such skills are somehow ephemeral or they have a very subjective quality. I will assert that is absolutely not the case. Behavioral skills, if you think about your life at work and at home, I will submit to you that our success, our failures, our pain, our pleasure is very often, and I would say most often, a function of our behavior with regard to other people, whether it's a customer or a family member. And these behavioral attributes often, again, dictate our success or failure. Further, they are skills. What do I mean by that? They can be learned. They can be anchored to reliable and valid research. They can be learned. They can then be practiced. And as you practice those skills, just like if you were practicing carpentry or plumbing or computer skills, as you practice, you become more proficient, you become more effective. Some of you may have heard of something called the 10,000 hour rule. And that is a fairly loose term, I think, and it suggests that in order to achieve a superior level of performance, it takes 10,000 hours to achieve that superior performance. And if you look at people who do perform in a superior way, it is not, and I repeat, not a function of talent. We know talent exists, there's no argument there. But talent, unless it is refined by behavioral skills, in this case, is insufficient to achieve a level of superiority. There's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers that he talks about this extensively, and I'm giving it only a broad summary here. But what he reports on repeatedly when he looks at athletes, when he looks at artists, when he looks at musicians, is that those that achieve superior performance practiced repeatedly and learned from that practice and again became more proficient. So what behavioral skills will I cover in the videos? And again, I encourage you to look at all of these videos. It's an opportunity to add to your skills as a communicator. So we'll be talking about in the videos listening skills, how to be a more effective listener, presenting skills, paralinguistic skills, that refers to tone of voice, speed, pace, clarity, pronunciation, body language. Our bodies communicate, and you can choose what you communicate. You can choose to, for example, communicate interest and attention in the way that you behave physically. Conflict management, problem recovery skills. Once again, the theme here is it's about behavior and it's about skills. Behavior that increases the likelihood of your success as you encounter customers, as you encounter colleagues, as you encounter employees, as you encounter management. And you can take these skills home with you as well. And skills, because once again, I know I'm being redundant, if you practice them, you become more proficient, just like if you practice dribbling a basketball. I've relied on a number of sources, and I would refer you to the bibliography on my website for a more extensive list, but among those I've cited and have used in the production of these videos is Albert Morabian, an absolute pioneer with regard to the relationship between what we say, to how we look when we say it, to how we sound when we say it. I've got a video on that topic. In fact, two videos on that topic. Carl Rogers, who pioneered the use of the empathic reflection. Robert Kharkov, who, as a researcher in the late 20th and probably into the 21st century, took the work of Rogers and expanded it and refined it. More recently, Dan Ariely at MIT, as he looks at consumer behavior. Malcolm Gladwell, who I referred to earlier, who once again is not a researcher, but rather a really insightful author. He's what we call a meta-researcher. He looks at the research of others in order to derive insight and meaning. Atul Gawande, a doctor who does an extensive amount of research in patient interactions and how people become, as I talked about earlier, superior performers. You can use these videos to help you get started in improving your skills. And I should say as an aside here, I'm not assuming you're a poor communicator. I'm assuming you're a reasonably good communicator, and these videos are designed explicitly to take you from good to better, even to superior, depending on how willing you are to practice. You can use this to add to your current skills. You can use this as part of a feedback process. So for example, if you're a manager in a service organization where you're interacting with customers, you can use these videos to help you give feedback to employees on how they might behave more effectively. So you can use this to help train others. All the videos are useful. All the videos conclude with a call to action, something you can do based on the video. So I encourage you to watch the videos. I encourage you to use them with others. Most of all, I encourage you to get the skill and practice. That old axiom, practice makes perfect, may not be exactly true because I don't know that we ever achieve perfection, but we can become increasingly more effective. Thank you.